2026 will be the first year where Google isn't the only search engine you need to optimize for, and honestly that should be scaring certain people. SEO in 2026 is not what you think it's going to be. Let me show you in this video. Very quickly as well, if you guys want more SEO tips, SEO live streams, a community, download my SEO.app. It's completely free to use. So in this video, I'm going to be predicting 6 SEO predictions for 2026. Some people might call them predictions, but we're already seeing a lot of these come into fruition and start being used more and more by Google as well. So SEO prediction number 1 is AI mode SERP becomes the norm. And what I mean by that is instead of actually doing a search like how does SEO work, in certain industries or in certain cases, we're actually going to be defaulted by AI mode. So the 10 blue links that we're used to seeing, in some cases we will actually just see a continuous AI set of results. Now the likeliness for this is you probably won't see a complete AI mode in service-based queries. What you probably will see in AI mode is informational comparisons, how-to, and research queries. Because 9 times out of 10, if I was going to search like how does SEO work, right? Even if we were to completely for a second think AI mode wasn't a thing, what usually people would do is click on maybe 2 or 3 of these results and then come up with their own conclusion. Now with AI mode, we are very quickly getting that answer. And that is what Google's end goal is. They want to be able to get you to your end destination as quickly as possible, whether you're learning how to bake a cake, whether it's learning how to do SEO. SEO prediction number 2 is entities beating keywords. So if we take a look at Kasra, for example, as you can see, I've got a knowledge panel, my picture shows up, my Facebook, my Twitter. Now, the thing is if Google or even AI like LLMs, ChatGPT, Claude, etc., if they do not know who you are, what you do, and who you serve, you're going to have a really tough time. Because if you think of it, right, if you were to have like more of a generic name, now I am slightly a little bit gifted in this case because I like to think that there's only one Kasra, but if you have a more generic name, Google will not know who you are, so they can't associate a certain topic with you. And what I mean by that is, like, if you take a look here, it's very clear that Kasra is an SEO expert, maybe even a business expert, some would say, because I have labeled myself up as that. So I've got my personal website, I've got my Instagram, I've got my YouTube, Facebook, everything like that. So I am going to say that in 2026, if you haven't already started building a personal brand, or if you are on the fence of trying to build one, maybe you don't have enough time, I strongly recommend you doing it. Whether you are a celebrity, whether you are an AI expert, whether you're another SEO, this helps with a lot of trust. I can attach my name to any brand that I'm obviously working with, and it will help a lot as well. Here's another really simple example of it, right? So Apple, obviously you have the fruit and you have the brand as well. If you were to search Apple customer service, these are all entities to do with Apple. So Google obviously associates customer service with Apple, the brand, not Apple, the fruit, unless there is like a customer service for apples, which I do not know about. But in this case, obviously you can see that Google understands that we are talking about the actual product, and it's given us the telephone number there. The reason for this example is obviously the brand identity is stronger than the keyword meaning. So the keyword meaning might be fruit, for example, but Google has obviously strung together that we obviously want customer service for our iPhone product or our MacBook product. Another example of this is how to start a podcast, right? Then you've got like Buzzsprout, you have RSS, Podcast Insights, you also have Wix as well. But there's also certain brands that are associated with that. So how to start a podcast, if you've ever done any podcasting and stuff, you would think Riverside, you would think Spotify. These are all places that you can obviously upload your podcast to as well. So indirectly, you are being associated with like podcasting, or in the previous example, Apple customer service. SEO prediction number 3 is search engines will rank facts, not pages. And again, we've started seeing this more and more, even more after like 2021, 2020, when Google had like a really big issue where people were able to throw up websites and start telling other people en masse like which crypto to invest in. So Google's always favored facts and not specifically pages, but even more so with the rise of AI mode, because if AI starts recommending bad things, for example, it can then reflect badly on the company. Like we've already seen that ChatGPT has a couple different lawsuits where it's provided, I think it was like fitness advice, and it was wrong fitness advice, and that person now, I believe, has died. So their family is suing OpenAI or Sam Altman or ChatGPT. I believe that was the case, or it might have been Google AI overviews. But again, if you are able to state facts on your website which correspond with what other websites are saying, so it's basically general consensus, and that's essentially what the Google MUM algorithm is, or MUM. That way Google can trust your website more. One thing to recommend to you guys, if you are going down the factual route and like if you're trying to rewrite your content as well, is try and use shorter sentences. Like I think I must have analyzed maybe few hundred AI overviews now, and it's always 2, maximum 3 sentences that get pulled in to the AI overviews. Now, I'm not saying that you obviously need to reflect that, but with AI, if you're trying to get into LLMs, if you're trying to state facts, you need to make certain that it's very concise and it's also readable for AI overviews, LLMs and stuff. One thing that I would always just recommend doing is using like a tool like Hemingway. I believe Grammarly also has a readability checker as well, and just trying to get this grade to a low number. Aim for 9. If you can get lower than 9, then brilliant. But all I've done is I've just copied this in. Again, if you have a low readability score, LLMs, Google AI overviews, they do prefer shorter sentences. So that's one thing to bear in mind, especially if you're going to double it up with the facts and stuff like that throughout your content as well. SEO prediction number 4, and this is probably going to be one of the most controversial ones, but brand mentions beats link farms. And I would even go one step further and say that just a sole brand mention is better than having a do follow or a no follow link. And there is a one caveat to that. So don't think that you do not need any more links. You still need do follow links. You still need no follow links. But as an SEO, for the numerous years I have been doing SEO, SEOs do not like having unlinked mentions. Even Ahrefs, for example, it's got a tool within Ahrefs for you to see every website that has mentioned your brand, and for you to go and basically do outreach to those websites and try and actually get that being a link. Now, what I mean by this is that brand mentions is going to become seriously more important. We've already seen this, but it's not one thing that you should start worrying about like SEOs used to worry about. So I'll give you guys an example. About 2 years ago, every SEO was consistently caring about how many do follow links they have, how many no follow links they have, and they were trying to convert brand mentions or unlinked mentions to actually being linked mentions. Now, Google has actually become really smart in this case. As you can see here, Best SEO Experts 2026, if you were to actually take a look at any of the websites that are actually doing the listicles, we did not place a single link on any of these. So there is not a link to kasra.com, there's not a link to deansignori.com, there's not a link to jamesdooley.com. None of these actually have a link. That means, or that tells us, that Google is smart enough now to understand, with the correct entities, of course, which I was talking about in the previous predictions, if you have got the correct entities, like, for example, James Dooley, founder of Promo SEO, founder of FatRank, it knows which James Dooley you're talking about. In this example, Kasra Dash, founder of the Masterminders Conference, founder and creator of my SEO app, right? It knows the Kasra Dash, or the specific Kasra Dash that we are talking about. Another great example of this, and if you still want page rank being passed to your website is if we take a look at Zapier, right? This is the entire month of October, how many links they've gained, or how many backlinks they've gained, how many backlinks they've lost. We can actually see how many anchors are actually more branded mentions as opposed to going after a specific keyword. So all I'm doing here is I've just mentioned Zapier. And if we take a look here, they've got 97,860 backlinks or groups of links. And if we do the filter for the entire month of October, we will see that 34,000, so approximately 33%, 34% of their entire backlink profile has got Zapier as an actual anchor, which tells us that brand mentions, whether it's a do follow link, whether it's a no follow link, whether it's an unlinked mention, can definitely help. And obviously Zapier is like one of the biggest websites in the world. So in some cases, what I like to do when it comes to SEO is replicating what some of the bigger industry people are doing. And as you can see, free email marketing tools, they are ranking position number 5, I believe. So they're doing what's working. So SEO prediction number 5 is AI spam gets punished hard. Now, all I've done here is I have searched how to fix a boiler, and I'm just clicked on position number 1's page. And we are also told ChatGPT how to write a blog on how to fix a boiler. Now, I am not saying that AI cannot write SEO optimized content, because it definitely can. However, if you're just using generic prompts like this to then think that you're going to be able to rank number 1, you're probably going to have a hard time. Now, let's take a look. So we've obviously got like unique images in here. Again, this is a lot more generic content. We've not got any original photos. We've not got like a personal story. We don't have any screenshots, for example. As you can see, for each step in this actual article that's ranking right now, we actually do have images. So like we've got an image to do with bleeding your boilers. It's actually branded, changing your thermostat batteries. Every single step, it actually has got some images, some personalization. Whereas with this generic article, although it might be a little bit more in depth when it comes to the content, it is very generic and you're going to probably have a hard time ranking. Again, one thing that I will say about AI as well is when you do like a random prompt like this, it does a lot of bullet pointed lists. It's not got like any paragraphs and stuff like that. So that's another thing to take into consideration. Again, if we take a look at like position number 2, these are another website, and as you can see here, we've got like a video. We've got several videos, and then we've also got images and stuff like that as well. So in this case, this is a way better step-by-step guide on how to fix a boiler as opposed to this just generic one. And again, one thing as well when it comes to AI, if you use a very generic prompt, there's a lot of other people that can use a very similar generic prompt and get that same AI spit out. So you want to make certain if you are going to be using AI for writing content, it's actually a little bit more unique. So maybe having like subheadings set out in a certain way. I actually do have a sheet which I will link down below where it actually does help you get a lot more different writing styles, things that you should be actually asking yourself. This is just a complete 101 on how to write content the right way, as opposed to just asking ChatGPT, hey, write me an article on how to fix a boiler, because you're going to get a lot of generic stuff when you just do that. And not only that as well, is we have also seen YouTube come out with a recent law where if you're just doing AI videos, they can demonetize your channel and you will not get paid for ad revenue as well. So we're probably going to see a very similar shift when it comes to mass producing AI content. It's just spam. It's not even helping anyone. SEO prediction number 6, and this is probably going to be the most accurate one. It's probably going to be the one that will turn a lot of people's heads. And that is that LLM SEO becomes its own ranking system. So what I mean by that is if we were to do 2 searches here, right? How do I get backlinks on Google and how do I get backlinks on ChatGPT? What you will see are very different results, but laid out in a similar way. So if we take a look here, we've got Reddit ranking number 1 after the sponsored results in the AI overview. So we'll ignore the AI overview for now. We're just going to be looking at the top 10 blue links. As you can see, we've got Reddit, which is more like of a personalized response. We've then got some authority websites, some more discussions, and then we've got obviously YouTube all the way down here. Now, what I think will end up happening is that Google will obviously stick to a similar set of results, whereas with ChatGPT and LLMs, what it will do is it will end up actually demonstrating reputation and factual corroboration. So what I mean by that is, if out of all of these results, the Reddit result, the SEMrush, the Backlinko, MailChimp, the few videos that we've got down here, if all of them are saying that you need to get a Google business profile to get more backlinks, then guess what? ChatGPT is going to start pulling that in. So ChatGPT will rely a lot more on reputation, factual corroboration, social proof, YouTube transcripts, news mentions, podcasts, and also factual consistency. There's probably a few things I've missed out, but that's what ChatGPT is going to rely more on. Whereas with typical SEO, what it's going to rely more on is backlinks, on-page SEO, and keyword clusters. So that's going to be the slight difference when it comes to ranking in typical SEO, whereas ranking in LLM SEO or AI or ChatGPT. And also, if we even just do a follow-up prompt within ChatGPT, so if we even ask, why did you give me this answer? What influenced this? Give me a list of 10 things. So first of all, it's obviously my own personal experience. What I've previously searched, SEOs can't really manipulate that. Your previous requests about backlinks, your YouTube content style, your knowledge level, your preference for tiered structured frameworks, your use of entity-centric SEO. And as you can see here, it's also got its built-in SEO training data as well. So what I mean by the LLMs having their own ranking system is, if you can train this training data on certain things that you either want it to know about yourself or about your brand, that's when the fun begins, and that is when you're able to actually show up a lot more frequently in LLMs. Also, a few other things as well that is mentioned is obviously pattern recognition, memory and context. Then you've got brand and tonality, industry standard SEO frameworks, real world SEO expert discussions. So like Ahrefs, Authority Hacker, podcasts can fall into this as well. So there is literally no better time. And this again goes back to one of the examples that I was given before. Try and build up your personal brand in 2026, because once you build up your personal brand, you're doing podcasts, you're doing videos like what I'm doing, a lot of this stuff becomes a lot easier, because you're able to then influence what you want with AI and also what you want with Google as well. So that's been my video on the SEO predictions for 2026. It is not dying. I feel like it is probably one of the best times to get into SEO right now. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please remember to leave a like. If you haven't already, download my SEO app. And if you want help with anything, head over to kasra.com, fill in the contact form, and I will be in touch. Thank you for watching.